What's up, everybody? My name's Trey. This is the TS Steelworks channel. Been kind of out of the loop here for a little while, out of the game, if you will. Just a lot of things happening. Some good, some bad. We're working through all of it, though. And the machine I want to talk about today is this ARE Shot Blaster. So I've done some work. You may remember a little while ago I got this thing and it's getting better. I was not impressed with the machine. It physically functioned, but it didn't get the parts how I wanted them. So let me show you what was in there and what I came up with copying off another machine. So this basket here was the basket that you've seen in one of the other videos. And the holes are too big in it for the parts that I'm doing. So that's all the bigger the parts are. And these parts. So you may be wondering what the purpose of this is, and it's to even out the surface finish and deburr the parts slightly. So a good friend of mine over at Diligent Defense allowed me to use his machine a few times. Greatly appreciate that. And it made me realize, like, okay, it's time for you to step up and get your own equipment. If you break theirs, they are a tremendous company, and I would hate to put them out doing my own parts. So I invested some money. I'm into this machine. I paid $2,700 for this machine. I then bought new paddles for it, which was $200. And then I bought that basket, which was $50, and all new stainless steel shot, which was $700 for 125 pounds of stainless steel shot. So we're up there in the dollars, you know, close to $4,000. But you know, we'll make that back. Just gotta keep on trying. And I think I'll be able to use this on other projects and products as well, but I bought it for one specific reason. So let me get you zoomed in here and let you see the inside of the machine and kind of what I came up with, which is very similar to the machine I was using at my buddy's shop. So in here we have, I cut out two plates, 18-inch diameter, 1/4-inch thick plates, and burnt all these holes in it. And then these spreader bars I turned on the lathe, drilled and tapped the ends. So this holds this together. Without these in there, there's two independent shafts and things would be bad. And there would also be a shaft running through the middle of it. So there's just a stub shaft there and a stub shaft back there. That one is attached to a pulley, which is attached to that gear reduction motor. So it spins real slow like a turkey spit. Then you can push this basket one direction and see that spring, and you can take this out and you can put it in different places depending on the parts. And this is how that other machine was set up that I was using. So I kind of knew it was going to work, but I had to come up with my own version of it. Down here is 4 pieces of flat bar essentially that fling this stainless steel shot up in the air. As this is rotating, it's throwing stainless steel shot up in the air and blasting it. So let's kind of get a side by side here and see if you can see a difference. So this is the unblasted, and you can see the machine marks in it, and it's got burrs on it. And this one here is just like a matte gray. And that's from being in the blaster for about 15 minutes. There's a basket full of parts. I'll probably run those for a couple minutes again. They've been sitting in there for a while, so. But yeah, essentially all you do is load your basket, close your door, and then set your timer, start your basket and your dust collector, and then start blasting, and then just wait. I mean, it's pretty sweet once you get everything figured out. So, but let's get you set up on a tripod and get a basket loaded up and get it running. I'm just going to reinstall this basket and run it for 5 minutes, and then we'll load up a fresh batch. Take our light out because I don't think that would last very long. Set our timer. Dust collector's on, basket's rotating. Give that about 5 minutes, re-blast those ones, take those ones out, put some new ones in, and see what it. All right, it's been 5 minutes or so. Put some light on in here. I know I'm gonna forget that light in there at some point. Everything looks really great. It's nice and uniform, deburred very nicely. Sorry about the machine running in the background. I gotta keep making parts. Let's load some more parts. Alright, I feel like that's about 50. I'm going to do it in a couple batches because I want them to have room to flop around. And actually, I'll probably end up setting up a second basket, and that way I can get more done at one time. So get this, see that? Almost forgot the light again. Get that closed up. And turn our timer. Do 5, 10, 15, about 15 minutes. Start our basket and dust collector. Basket's turning, and then we'll start our blaster. Okay, here we are. I wasn't sure, but it must be true that that dust collector and basket shuts itself off after a certain amount of time. And I bet you if I get into this wiring again, I would see that there's probably a timer in there. So you got to open this door up kind of slow, because there's a little bit of shot that falls down into this trough, which then goes back down into the machine. But if you open it up too fast, I'm learning that it kind of makes a mess. So here we are, and I've got this little paintbrush here, kind of, I don't know, I might make this lip bigger. It seems like we're going to be dropping some shot, and once again, not cheap. Should be able to run the dust collector or the basket with just turning this on, which also turns the dust collector on, I guess. We're going to rotate it around so we can see if we like the parts or not, the way they look. We might run it. Might run it for a little longer. Oh, looks pretty good. Not too bad. Maybe a little bit longer. This is the first time running these parts in this machine, so I'm learning. Vastly improved from last time. So we once again will start our dust collector and basket rotation. And we'll start the blast. So here we are. Parts are done. This is a bit of a learning curve, just to see how long it's going to take and stuff. So it seems like it has to be in there longer than my buddy's machine. That could be for a few different reasons. Number one, he wasn't positive what size shot he was using. Long story behind that. The other thing is, his machine's really neat because it has 2 timers on it, and it'll actually spin one direction for however long you set the timer, and then it will stop and rotate the other way. And that really probably gets these parts moved around a lot more. So I don't know if that motor is reversible or not. I might look into doing something like that just on my own, but for now, I think just running them longer is probably going to be the answer. So, but they look really good. All right, let's get this last batch in there. All right, the last batch has ran for probably around a half an hour. Not too bad. Not quite the same as in Brandon's machine, but they're looking pretty good. They're definitely not as matte colored, if you will, but I need to look into maybe a different grit. It's just so expensive. So I've got $700 tied up in just shot blast media. So I hope this is the right grit, because if not, then you got to spend another $700. Alright, well, that's going to be it for this one. I really appreciate everyone watching. Sorry for the gap between videos. Things have just been a little crazy around here, learning about some new things. So if you could, I'd appreciate hitting the subscribe button, the like button. Please comment. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you'd like to see. I do blacksmithing, machining, 3D printing, all kinds of stuff. So I make products for myself, and I also make things for other people. So I appreciate everyone watching once again, and we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.